All right, shalom, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Giving double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone, the ones that's been laboring in this truth for over 30 years, bringing this truth out, by way of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And shalom to the few sisters that watch. And today I just want to get into a quick lesson on not trusting in oppression, because a lot of the times these other nations can acknowledge that Jake is being oppressed before Jake will. Sometimes we'll get a job or a position or to a point in life to where you feel like you've made it, until Esau slap you in the face and show you that you still being oppressed, and then you realize it, So just because you reach a certain status or get a certain amount of money, you still got to understand that you're being oppressed and you in the land of your captivity. But Jake don't even realize that, man. Jake don't even realize that these scriptures are directly speaking to them. And they reject it, All your answers are right here, but you just reject it. But we're going to get into the book of Psalms, chapter 62 and verse 10. Trust not in oppression and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. So a lot of times, Jake get a little money or material things and think that they made it, and forget about where they came from and how they got to the point where they are, today. Trusting in that oppression, really running to Esau, because everything that you got has been given to you by Esau, one way or the other. Of course, it's through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, but Esau has directly given you your riches. And he can take them away if he want to. As we can see with Nick Cannon, even now in the news, Whoopi Goldberg, she got suspended, gotta make an apology, and just by some comments that are true. So you still been oppressed, Jake. But I want to come with a couple quick clips to show some insight on how the other nations can understand that you being oppressed, and the average everyday Jake don't even understand, don't even realize. So we're gonna get into the quick clips.
And rationality and personal responsibility, or you're a voice of intolerance and bigotry and anger and hateful
sexual oppression.
What did Michael
prejudice,
Eric Dyson call you? A mean angry white man.
And a mean angry white man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You're not mean at all.
Yeah.
That's what's dumb about that statement. It's you're not mean at all.
I am white. Actually, that's a lie too. I'm kind of tan, and he was actually not black.
If you're tan,
he was
what
sort
the
of
fuck
brown.
am I? Because I'm darker than you.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But neither of us are white.
Well, I'm Italian.
And he was brown, not black.
Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
The black and white thing is so strange because the shades are so
tan and brown.
There's such a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to someone who is like 100% African from the darkest place where they're not wearing any clothes all day and they've developed all that melanin to protect themselves from the sun. Even the term black is weird. And when you use it for people that are literally my color, it becomes very strange.
Yeah. This is true.
A controversial old restaurant in Smyrna is one step closer to being torn down. The restaurant was named after a black woman who was a pioneer in the community.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon tells us what could happen now to Aunt Fanny's cabin. Back in December, the city decided they no longer wanted this building and would give it away to anyone who would pay to have it moved. Well, as of Tuesday's deadline, the city says no one has offered to move the cabin.
When you walk inside, you can see Aunt Fanny busying herself.
The Coalition to Save Aunt Fanny's Cabin says this building is part of history and needs to be preserved. It tells the story of Fanny Williams, a pioneer for Black women who made many contributions to society, including helping to raise money for the county's first all-Black hospital.
We, this coalition, stand up for Fanny Williams, to be her voice, to make sure that her story is told.
In the 1940s, this was a bustling restaurant owned by a white family, but named after Fanny Williams, who worked for the family for years. It brought in celebrities, but it also had a dark side filled with racism.
If we as Black people do not claim those narratives that are both ugly and good, then we essentially cancel out ourselves.
Images from that time period with racial overtones, not something to be real proud of in Smyrna.
Mayor Derek Norton says the building has worn down over the years, and after months of discussion, the city council agreed it should be torn down or given away to anyone who agrees to move it. The mayor says no one came forward.
We have not heard from any historical society, no preservation group, no individual citizen.
The mayor says there are other ways to honor Fanny Williams.
100% of the folks who have talked about this agree that Fanny Williams needs to be memorialized in the proper way. And that's what will happen on that site.
But some say you can't do it without the building.
You cannot tell her story without the cabin.
The Coalition to Save Aunt Fanny's Cabin says this isn't over yet. The cabin will be discussed at a meeting tomorrow night where the city will talk about the next steps moving forward. In Smyrna, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Or a voice of reason.
There you have it, man. As you can clearly see in that first clip, they discussing the term black. Even Esau knows that saying black is he said it out of his mouth. Saying the term black is weird because nobody is black and nobody is white. But they don't realize that they actually red. They don't understand, but we know, you know. But the point of the matter is Jake want to hold on to this word black, a term that was put on you by your oppressor. And even in the second clip, they keep stressing the word black. And it's like they put emphasis on black. And then you got Eve that want to save this cabin that was owned by some Edomites that's just named after probably, you know, actual slave or, you know, close to being it, but clearly a servant. But, you know, they want to hold on and save a cabin that was owned by some Edomites that all kind of wickedness, you know, took place in the cabin, Salakia, just because it's named after some lady named Aunt Fanny. But that just shows you that the low level that Jake is on, and that was Eve, you know, want to hold on to a cabin. And even the Edomite mayor even said, you know, why are we holding on to this? Really, it's just a cabin. I mean, that won't stop whoever Aunt Fanny's legacy was. But they just show you that the low level that Jake is on, and they want to hold on to this oppression, man, instead of trying to better themselves through the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? So clearly, you know, the question presents itself. why is Jake so comfortable with being a slave, a servant, and being oppressed, not realizing that he's a great treasure? Because when you go into that word spoil, it's plunder, which, well, we can get it.
Strong's H 957. Baz.
It says plunder, booty, prey, spoil. And when you go, it's all about being something taken. You are actually a possession to these other nations. And when you go into that word booty, it's clearly a great treasure, a precious treasure, which we are, we're chosen people. But the fact of the matter is Jake don't realize it. They rather trust in oppression, run to Esau for their wants and needs instead of running to these scriptures to understand why they're in the position they're in and how to actually work towards getting out of the position they're in. Ultimately, we know it's about the elect, but Jake still don't want to receive the knowledge. So from there, we'll go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. And verse 9. We'll start at verse 9. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord Yahweh. Jake don't want to hear. If you out there on the highways and byways, Jake will do a whole big circle just not to pass by you and hear the word coming out. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So Jake wants you to be, that's why they so comfortable with the Christian church, the plantation Christianity. Because they clearly tell them everything that they want to hear. If your finances are low, they gonna give you that pep talk to tell you, oh, it's gonna be okay, everything gonna be fine. Or if you got anything that you facing adversity with, the plantation Christianity gonna try to build you up as far as telling lies and smooth things instead of just coming out telling you, Jake, you sinning. Clearly if you going off, this is gonna happen to you. This is why this is happening to you. And if you don't stop, this is gonna happen to you. Yeah, but that's what Jake wanna hear. They wanna hear smooth things, not to be offended. Never mind that you're being oppressed and you don't understand why you in the position you in. Hey, they wanna hear smooth things. And lies. Tell me some lies that make me feel good. That's what Jake want to hear. All right, verse 11. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Verse 12. Wherefore thus says the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise the word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. So Jake want to constantly stay in oppression. They don't want to hear the word. They love being oppressed, and they want to stay in the pervertness. They want to keep that perverted mind to make themselves feel good. And it can go on and on, Therefore this iniquity shall be unto you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out of a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. So, you're going to keep being, telling yourself, lying to yourself that you not oppressed, that you this and you that, until that destruction come, man. And then it's going to be too late. Simply because you don't want to hear the word, the true words of the Lord, not that plantation Christianity stuff, man. And it goes on, you can read on, but it's going to tell you what's going to happen to you, man. If you keep going on trusting in this oppression, man, you're going to ultimately end up being destroyed. Hey, because when the Lord come back, he ain't playing, man. The Lord ain't going to care about your wants and needs when he come back. If you ain't been abiding by the word, Our goal is to be of the elect, or, the hopeful elect. That's what we striving for, and that's what we're working towards, Of course, through the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So we got to constantly stress this, man. Stay praying, man. Keep Yahweh Shem Yahushua in your thoughts, first and foremost, man. All right, now we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 134. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so I will keep thy precepts. And this this clearly right here shows that you in the land of your captivity, and as long as you being oppressed, it's hard for you to keep all the laws. That's why this whole thing been going on about keeping all the laws. Long as Esau is in control, you gonna go off. This place is made for you to go off. Every corner you turn, every time you turn the TV on, every time you turn the radio on, something influencing you to go off. Even the food. I mean, we know this stuff, man. I don't understand why people just want to be rebellious, man, and not take heed to what's really going on, man. We'll read that again. Psalms chapter 119 and verse 134. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so will I keep thy precepts. So as long as you being oppressed, you're going to be under the influence of your oppressor. And if you try to keep the precepts of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hey, man, clearly, man, this place is made for us to go off. Not making no excuses about not keeping the law, but it all boils down to you in the land of your captivity, man. You don't own nothing. You don't control nothing. So, that's why we got that grace, man. The water, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. All right, from there, we're going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. And we'll start at verse 20. It says, wisdom warns. And this goes from 20 all the way to 33. I don't think I'm going to get it all, but, we can. Let me see. This book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 20. Wisdom cries without, Salaki. Wisdom cries without. She utters her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So you see the prophets out there on the highways and hedges, but yet and still you bypass them and run to the Christian church. Well, you ain't learning that, man. I saw this Christian pastor, man, yesterday, as a matter of fact. This man quoting scriptures that didn't even relate to the situation that was going on. I'm like, what? But the people that's listening, they won't know. because they hate knowledge. They don't understand that this man is going off because they don't know. So, it's like when it says the blind leading the blind, this man blind and the people he talking to blind. So, hey, both of them gonna end up in a ditch, man. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So when you see people, the prophets out there on the highways and hedges bringing this word out, that's the Lord reaching out to you. That's the Lord's words directly coming out the mouth of the prophet, man. So that's the Lord speaking to you, and you don't regard it. You just walk by. And even on these videos, how many people ran across these videos on YouTube that just brush them off? Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also would laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And that's coming soon, man. Jacob's trouble right around the corner. So it's going to be a whole lot of fear out here, man. And the Lord going to be laughing. Lord willing, hey, all the madness that's going to be going on, Lord willing, it bypass us. But at the same time, all these wicked jakes out here, hey, can't help but to look on and be like, man, hey, the Lord tying them up, man. It says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me. But I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh. Ultimately, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. So, hey, we see it every day, man. Anytime you tell Jake what they going off, man, they gonna get offended, man. It could be something simple as, we always talk about eating pork, man. Jake will get angry over you telling them that it's in the Bible you shouldn't eat pork. Well, man, chicken in the Bible, chicken nasty, and you eat that, Always excuses, man. Verse 30. They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Oh, but back to 29, they hate knowledge, man. And they don't anything that keeps Jake, they feel like in a box. They hate it. So they hate the Lord, man. And the Lord ain't even put you in a box. He actually setting you free. Esau got you in a box, got you going off, and you don't even realize it. Verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. And that's what they doing, man. Anything that make them feel good, that feel pleasing to them, they gonna do it. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Yeah. So, they feel like they advance and they feel like they doing something that's good. But hey, ultimately it's gonna be led to destruction. They're gonna be led to destruction. Verse 33, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Hey, and that right there boils down to Jacob's trouble, man. So you're going to have that safety net. The Lord going to be your safety net. You ain't got to worry about net, man. We'll read that again. Book of Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 33. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. And that pretty much what it boiled down to, Jake trusting in oppression, man. Which going to ultimately lead to their destruction. And with that being said, man, we want to say shalom.